the reggae music.
You know, well, I was born in Vieux Fort, specifically uptown, but by 6, 7, 8, I can't remember exactly when, we had moved to the heart of the man, you know, by taxi hour in places there, Msole, you know, then the Valmore. So when in my growing up, I did everything boys did, you know, and this is the family I had at the time. It's true, we were Jehovah's Witnesses from the early days. So when I come from school, sometimes I had to stay there to study with them white people, all them type of things. But I was a youth that used to go everywhere around before. I used to go by Makade, by Lambushi, you know, Boche. Like Boche, that's where you initiate to be a swimmer. Man would just push you in the jetty, you know, and if you can swim, you know, you learn to swim. That was one of the initiation, you know, because almost every youth in Vieux Fort can swim. We used to go lance the song same way, go up Washadon, run on the beach with a ball and things so, hunt crabs, you know, our catapult behind birds like pitchweeds, padjon and them things. You know, play toads, marbles, yeah, all them things. Even, man used to even have track and field. We ourselves organizing that in our neighborhood, who does the fastest, even wrestling. Man, you know, it was just a love thing, it was not about fighting. But I grew up in them ways there, you know, among all them type of vibes there. But it was cricket and football that was our thing. Because there was enough land, flat land, you know, all around us. So we could play anywhere. So men playing football and cricket, the dry season cricket, the rainy season football. One rainfall, man, as the man asking for rainfall, and then times the season was like, it was predictable, you know. So when rainfall, man, we prepare for that. Man, just go on the field and just play in mud, everything. I think that's why they said, they talk about Hmong footballers were very good footballers, because we used to play a lot in mud and things, so when rainfall, you know, and then we was there. So I was both good in cricket and football. I represented both, I represented Vieux Fort in both football and cricket, in both as a under 19 and as a senior, you know, in both cricket and football. But I didn't play that long, because by the 2024 I was more looking at Rastafari. I dreads already, you know, and things so. But I dread up whilst I was working at the brewery, and I think I played 1 or 2 matches for the brewery in the OG competition, yeah. And I can remember a goal I scored on Belas, you know. Yeah, he was keeping for OG, and he kicked the ball, and lo and behold, the ball came to me, and I just banged it back inside the goal, you know, on the run, and I can't forget that. And when I was in junior sec, well, like I was like the top player, I was captain of the side at the time too. You know, I captain man like Irof, Emmanuel Belas, Valley, the man there. So, and when I went to senior sec, I met man like Rasfi and then man Willwood, you know. So I played for both schools, you know, both in cricket and football too, you know. So I was good at them things. But all the time, maybe behind the scenes, I was playing my music, you know. Not that I was thinking of being a musician, a big time musician, but I was doing that. We had a little group, as I said. Once I was at school, I met Ati, and we had some things in common. And then I used to come at his home on Saturdays especially and do a little music with him because them fellas had the keyboards at their home, you know. My mother was a pianist, and I guess all the siblings played the keyboards, you know. So I was playing a little guitar, he was playing a little keyboard, so we do our thing. For my uncle, but he's younger than me, used to be there with me. Until the thing got more serious, where, you know, we formed a group Nature. So Tizan came aboard, you know. There was power, whatever, you know. At that time we didn't have drums, so Kingsley mentor, we called Kakano, he wasn't there, but his brother was there. He was an aspiring lead vocalist too. But then man never took that serious. And we had our friend Telok from RC, but he went to junior sec, but he just continued RC because he was a little older than us, so he couldn't go to junior sec, you know. He didn't sit the test too, you know, but he was our brethren too, so he knew about the vibe. We just get together on Saturday, so he used to come there. But the thing about Telok, I used to write songs at the time and arrange songs, and it was more by Telok I used to learn, you know. At that time I had my girlfriend there, you know, who became my child mother. I had a daughter with her, you know. So Telok know the songs. So Telok singing the songs and he's singing the songs perfectly, you know. So that's how Telok became our lead vocalist. And at that time I was showing Telok how to play guitar too, you know. And Tizan knew a little thing, but I was the most advanced. I used to shoot Tizan a little playing the guitar. So that's how we were as a group, you know, but we never had instruments. But we got a gig because every time musician feast came around, Survival used to play. They were out of circle before, so but that was the time. So we got a gig, and then we played our original songs. All them original songs is I wrote them, I arranged them. But like I said, I was more advanced than some other guys because I used to go different places with Jadaimon at that time too, you know. So I had a little more experience than the guys and things. So and I was a band leader. Not by election, it just naturally. I was the leader, you know. We never say I'm the leader, you know. It was just a natural vibe, you know. Yeah, so that's how we gone. But as I said, we never had instruments, and we never got help either. But that was that day when we performed all before people loved the vibe, man. Even saying like, we're better than Survival. I know that wasn't true in that sense. We were just musicians that just start learning their craft. We just knew a few chords, you know, but at the time what happened is because it was original music, our own songs. I think that's what that made us score like that, you know.
Même si ou pauvre et ou en misère, ça pas pièce défaut. C'est toujours pour Dieu et pour la vie. Oui, merci papa, bon Dieu. C'est dignité et l'honneur, honnêteté. Toujours parler la vérité. Apprécier la vie et pas apprécier la vie. Pour tout le monde ni l'amitié. Tchébéla, 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 paladje. Tchébéla, tchébéla, tchébéla.
My first band, you know, a teenage band, you know, and then that petered out. So then I was more like a musician on my own, always have my guitar, still doing my thing, still writing my song. And it's really when freedom came around, because I never played music publicly again, I think, unless it was a show. When I met Ali Cat and them guys were just like 10 years. Raspberry and them had organized a show at the junior sec. So I met Ali Cat Naughty Rungs, Shandon, them guys were just around 10. I was in my 30s already. Yeah. And it was like when 2000 came around, when I recorded Freedom, it was like, before it was like a dead vibes when it came to music. There's only musicians they had, they only played at hotels, so there was nothing else really going on in Vieux Fort. So after that, I think, when I recorded that song, thanks to Mr. Shalry too, he gave us a start, because he had instruments, and he allowed us, he gave us permission to go and play with the instruments. So all them youths were there with me, and that's how I taught Sweat to play the keyboards. I'm not a big keyboards man myself, but through there, and all them vibes there, and then I performed now. As I said, my first show was Glen Washington and Capleton, but I had an accident, so I never got to perform. Then I performed with Freddie McGregor, and then Half Pint and Lucky Dube, performed with Lucky Dube again. But what happened, we in Vieux Fort, with the youths like Cold Sweat, Ali Cat, Blast, Jalion, we had formed a group. Even that man there, we used to call him Foodie. Yeah, we used to call him Foodie. That's the name I recall him. But we had organized ourselves in groups where we were doing shows. But we were the artists performing, but we were the ones organizing the shows. We did shows in the junior set. We did shows with Fire. So I performed with Fire. And lately I performed with Mishak band too. The Mishak other band I performed with, what's the name? Revolution. I performed with Revolution. I think at Swizzle too. Then, but as I said, we never had instruments until we were organizing ourselves as artists and doing shows. We were the only ones doing shows in Vieux Fort to benefit us, basically because we were the artists, wanted people to see us, but we never got any strength until when Reynolds came. And then Sweat and I were doing a duo. Sweat playing keyboards, I playing guitar, I playing drums sometimes, I playing bass. So when both of us singing, that's the duo. That's how Fofol actually started. Then Frenchie came, that's Darrell Oje. And then it was a free song. And then we started getting gigs. We got a gig from Kenya, that's in Lange. Kenya, give thanks to Kenya to, who help us, and also Boogie, who owned the old plantation. That's where we did most of our duo work, and we're getting paid for. Then Kenya gave us a gig every Saturday in Lange. Yeah, he had a restaurant running there, and things, so restaurant and bar. So every Saturday we go and play by Kenya, So that's how that vibe started. And then when Reynolds checked the vibe, he started pushing for hotel gigs. That's how we got the hotel gigs. And then the album came about with Benson came around playing the drums for us now. Because when it was a three of us, we just had a drum machine. Then Benson came from America. Like we had already met Benson maybe 2 years ago, and we used to go buy things and do a little jam. We had buy a drum set. So all them things happened. So, and then I performed with Phases too. And the mega stars, I can't remember if it's a Grass Street Rhythm band, I performed with them guys too. I performed in Grass Streets too, with mega stars, and them with them. So basically that's how I performed all around St.Lucia.
When Freedom was a hit song, it still will be a hit song. Itooba, we love him. Big up Itooba.
Yeah. I just say Itooba song is real conscious song, man. Yeah, man. Good vibe. Yeah, man. Respect for Itooba too, man.
Itooba, Rastafari, a real musician, productive person, and he's a musical icon that I will at the song talk highly about. Itooba.
Yes. As I said, I never I didn't mean to aspire to be a musician, really. But everything just fall into place one day and the other. As I said, my passion from my youth days was more sports, cricket and football. And then the Rastafari vibe took over by the time I was like 19. And so I became more serious on the music. I bought my first guitar from Isle. I was working at a brewery at that time. And I bought a bass from Lish later in the years, which I sold to Educator. Educator was bassman for Creation. That was another youth band that was in before. They had Youth 7, Mario News, Win Dixon, them guys there, Benson, Bruce, Sidney Gabriel, them guys there. And that Creation, Gifton, Educator, Cheetahs, Ivan, them and there. And there was Nature, plus there was Survival. So as time passed by, I thought them things was between the 70s and the 80s. So as time went by, I was involved with Nature, and then we grew apart. And then as I said, I met Reynolds. Yeah, I myself never stopped playing music until the Bingi vibes. I stopped playing music. And when I met Reynolds, that's when I got a chance to record it. The other many times they didn't have studios. I think Survival recorded the music sometime in the 80s, I think. They started a revolution. I think they went to Tunes record. There were not many bands or artists in St.Lucia at that time recording because I guess there were not much studios. And when I got the opportunity to record in a studio, it was right at Castries, yeah, Chronic Studio, So at that time before didn't even have no studio. So I'm thankful for the opportunity from Reynolds because when he came from America, we used to play football together as teenagers and he migrated to America. So when he came back maybe 20 years later, he was asking me what I do and so I told him about the music. So he told me to play the songs for him. So I took my exercise book and my guitar and we went around driving, went to the countryside, and that's how Freedom was born. The song is so good that you have to record it. So he helped me to record them songs. So a 10-track song album, yeah, called Freedom. So from Freedom, I became a household name. But with Freedom, it was a whole production, as it was happening for me, recording. I've had many youths I used to carry around with me at the time. Because before Reynolds came, these youths, I used to play guitar with them in the ghetto. Man like Cold Sweat, Blood Drop, Alicat, Mergrill, Naughty Ranks. So it brought a whole revolution in the music industry in St.Lucia in that way. Because before the people in St.Lucia maybe only knew about maybe Monty Maxwell, Survival, but when Freedom came it was actually from the ghetto, the voice of the youth in the ghetto, so the consciousness vibes, so that was the beginning of that. And today, most of the artists I mentioned, the young artists like Cold Sweat, Alicat, Mergrill, Naughty Ranks, them man has gone to record their songs. And Cold Sweat and Alicat are one of the prevailing artists in St. Lucia right now, So as I said, it was a musical revolution from Vieux Fort, so now people not just talking about Monty again, they're talking about Itoobaa'smusic, Cold Sweat, Alicat, them is there, because we're still there, But what I find in the music is like there is no push, no thrust from the government, although there has been one to organize things like the mega stars and Zion Train, that's regular vibes. But we know the Calypso and them things, government put contribute to Calypso and them with there. But when it's come to reggae, not even the radio stations play much of our songs, There was something happening, I think, around the creative industries, creative arts. Just a time pass, I think maybe around 2012, 13, 14, 15, the creative industries who had started something, a good initiative whereby artists come around, they go all around St. Lucia. So artists come and and perform their originals. So what it was about was more performing originals, not like doing other people's songs, but your original songs. You know, but as like any other thing, then things stopped, and you know, and then things have their weakness and their strengths. But I thought that was a good initiative, at least to get people to be writing their own stuff and creating their own stuff. You know, apart from that, there is no musical awards. Like, you know, it's one and far in between, because I got an award for Freedom in 2001, MNC Awards, and then we fulfilled around 2010-11, we got an award for Best Album again. You know, so then things happen, but there are so few musical awards in between. Maybe around 4 or 5. I think I've been about 6 about my life. You know, so I know Echo is right now. Echo came around to doing things like royalties for musicians. You know, so that's a good initiative too. But all in all, it's like we're not supporting nothing St.Lucia, really, when I look at it. One of them shows when I tried to do in St.Lucia, they come, but it is like, you know, the foreigners, they come in flocks. And what I'm saying and what I'm seeing is not that these guys are better than us in terms of music and lyrics. You know, when I mean performance-wise, the fellas have experience, so it's not like I'm competing with any foreign artists as I'm saying that. I'm just saying we ourselves in St.Lucia, we don't look at our artists in them with them. We just thinking that foreign artists are just better. Because that's what they play on the radio all the time. They don't play our stuff so on the radio. You know, so all them things is like almost a dead end. So I'm just doing the music not just for money's sake, but you have to live on what you're doing. I mean, that's what it is. But at the same time, you know, you're in the music industry. You know, I performed. My first show actually was with Capleton and Glen Washington, and going up to the show, Cool Sweat, Ali Cat was there, Anderson Reynolds was there, Jalion was there. We had an accident going up to the show, so I never reached to the show, so I never performed. I reached St. Jude's, and that's why I have a leg on my left leg up to a day like today, you know. Then I performed with Freddie McGregor. You know, he came to St. Lucia, did maybe a few or 4 stops, so I performed all them times there. That Future Lights was the band back in here from Sufre, you know, and I had Sweat there doing back on the music, you know. Then I performed with Lucky Dube, at the Millennium Park, or how you call it, you know, and Half Pint. I performed with them guys. You know, I opened the show, you know, and I performed with Lucky Dube again, Vieux Fort at the Phoenix. Yeah. And I performed with Mishak, to which, yeah, Mishak is the thing, you know. I'm proud of this guy, you know, and I know this guy can represent us anywhere in the world, you know, when it comes to performing reggae music, you know. So we have them guys there. There is also that guy, what is his name, Rastafaridenomination. I love that man performance, you know, and them ways there. As a entertainer, that man is one of the guys I really love his performance, you know. AG is like my, you know, is like my, I would say, well, that's like, how do you call that? But AJ, to me, well, that man is the man that can sing, you know, and to me, he's the best singer in Lucia, you know. So I see we have so many guys in Lucia, and so many things that can happen, you know, but it's still not happening in that way. But we have the resources. It's just the help musicians in St. Lucia just need. You know, the consciousness of knowing that playing our music can help even the country, not just us as individuals, but even the country, because music is a billion-dollar industry. So it's our people that have to look at it that way and support us when we have our shows. Not just think of only when the foreigners come to go to their shows, but support us too. Yeah, I say, well, I don't see much difference, it's just support, man. And we will get better too. Just through that same support, it will be on a higher level. But they just keep it on that level, so it's just on that level. But support us and strength to strength, it will build up, you know. Yeah, and I met Jackie on December 13th there, you know. Yeah, he performed. So, all in all, as I was saying, just keep it together and see it as one Caribbean. It's just one love, you know. Just music is ours, you know.
It is full of antiquity, and there's no mercy, no pity. People, you've got the ability to stop this calamity. Unity in our community. What U-N-I-T-Y in our C-O-M-M-U-N-I-T-Y. Live good in the neighborhood. Live good in the neighborhood. Oh, live good in the neighborhood. Oh, live in the neighborhood.
And so, Jazz on the Square. Jazz on the Square plus Asu Square with Fofol. I go from Asu Square with Fofol too. They are Jazz on the Square with Fofol and Asu Square with Fofol. So I did all them things already, you know.
Why won't you let us be? We want to be free, so free. We want to be free, like birds in the tree. Can't you see? Oh, so sing it
But I've recorded singles after that. And right now I'm just trying to compile them singles into album. Like them singles like Chebela, Mama I St.Lucia. I have a few Creole songs now. I have Mbagay, Man and Woman, all them things through the years. And I have free tracks on the Fofol album. Violence, Wicked World, Now She's Gone. These are my songs. But it's just on the Fofol album. But these are my own songs, my own arrangements, everything, you know. They have songs we did together, and there are songs I already had, you know. Just because there are three of us, like three lead vocalists at a time in Fofol. There was Frenchie, Cold Sweat, and Itoobaa'smusic, you know. Each of us contributed our songs to the album. Plus there are songs we did together, you know. So basically, I'm still in the process of compiling them songs to do an album. Yes, I've recorded some new songs too. For the past 2 years there, I've been recording some new songs to put on the album with what I have, the singles I have released over the years. So hopefully, by this year, I guess I will have the next album out. It was cool to speak about music and then who is there. And I think it's a good initiative. But what I think should be done right now, as I was saying earlier, a lot of the young people, they're thinking the glory and everything is the artist, the one that's singing. But without the music, you know, is nothing. So the music itself is very important. So I think to uplift music here in Vieux Fort and St.Lucia by extension is help youths get instruments, to learn to play instruments, you know, and whoever have the time to teach these youths to play them instruments, you know, and them ways there. I think that's one of the initiatives. And because we need music schools, or we need tutors in music, you know, to do that. Because as you can see, the youths are interested. But it's not just about singing alone, it's learning to play an instrument, which is a fundamental vibes about music. It's the instruments, yeah. As well as the singers, as the players of instruments shall be there, you know, all over Nice Springs R&D, you know. So I think that's one of the ways to youths to play an instrument, whether it's at school or out of school, you know. The initiative, I think, is a good way to start. Like that's a start.
Chebela palaje, chebela chebela chebela, chebela 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 palaje, bon Dieu la chebela palaje.